Oh my gosh, when they started with do we have the national anthem from the DNC last night? Oh my, when this hit, I thought I was going to lose my mind.
Powerful.
Oh, look. And nobody's kneeling. That's fantastic. Oh. Okay, stop. I can't take it. So you knew you were in for a very long night of agony, a very long night of programming. Honestly, Sesame Street has a higher standard. For education. Sesame Street has a higher standard. This thing was jam-packed with information for absolute morons and idiots. You start with the national anthem. An educated person says, how can you start with the national anthem? Because everybody's taking a knee. You guys aren't defending the national anthem. You guys are saying that the national anthem is racist. So how are you doing that without any self-awareness? They're totally self-aware. They are programming to morons. They don't think you're aware of it. They don't think you know anything that's going on. And the people that will buy this don't. So you have to watch it in a different way, like Michelle Obama's speech. I'm going to try to get through. I just have, I think, 10 pieces of her audio to get through. I don't think I can do it. When you listen to Michelle Obama, first of all, the worst thing anyone can do on the right is tear Michelle Obama apart as a person or anything else, because she is so liked. That's different than likable. You don't have to like her. You don't even have to understand how other people like her. But you need to understand how liked she is. We don't feel this way because I'm sure she's a wonderful person if you agreed with her. So I don't feel this way because I know so much about her. I know that she doesn't love America. She said the first time she was ever proud of her nation was when Barack Obama was elected. The first time she was proud of her nation. We have heard too many off-camera comments from her. I know who she hung out with. I know her Marxist friends. I know who she went to church with for 20-some years. There's no way you can have the kind of love and appreciation for this country that maybe you have. Now, maybe she appreciates it in a whole different way, like it's a great place to start all over again. Maybe. But we see her differently because we've been educated. We've paid attention. So let's listen to her speech. Here's cut one.
Good evening, everyone. It's a hard time, and everyone's feeling it in different ways.
I don't like it so far.
And I know a lot of folks are reluctant to tune into a political convention right now, or to politics in general.
Stop.
Believe me, I get it.
Why do you hate it so far?
I just don't get it. I know everyone thinks she's amazing and she's this incredible person and she's the most beautiful woman that's ever walked the face of the earth.
She's an average person.
There's nothing wrong with being average looking, but that's just what she is. She's an average looking person who again, like I watch her speeches and I feel like I'm in another universe. I watch every blue check on Twitter say how it was the most amazing thing they've ever seen. And I look at it and I'm like, that looked like the wife of a politician trying really hard to read a speech who was written by a pretty good speechwriter, right? And she's overacting it and overdoing it. And she's not really great at this, but like, hey, nice work. Separating her from who she is and what we know about her and her politics, like I just don't see her as this amazing transformative person.
She has
a everyone else does.
Okay, she has a way. Now remember, talking two different things. The way you see it and the way the half of the country sees her. They have not been exposed, nor have they listened to all of the things that make you go, she is not telling the truth here. She's not telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. That's part of it.
So it's part of it.
But she hasn't said anything yet. All she said was, you probably don't want to tune into a convention. I was like, ugh.
She also says all of the things. Now, this is a speechwriter saying all of the things that everybody feels. And she has a way. She is good at one thing. She can look into the camera and connect with an individual. Maybe not you, but she can connect. And that's a very rare skill. And I do think she has that. She seems overacty to me, but if you're not predisposed to think she's a fraud, you may not feel that from her. All right, continue.
I get that. But I am here tonight because I love this country with all my heart.
Just look at the teleprompter.
And it pains me to see so many people hurting. I've met so many of you. I've heard your stories. And through you,
every line,
I have seen this country's promise. And thanks to so many who came before me, thanks to their toil and sweat and blood, I've been able to live that promise myself. That's the story of America.
Wow.
All those folks who sacrificed and overcame so much in their own times because they wanted something more, something better for their kids. There's a lot of beauty in that story. There's a lot of pain in it too. A lot of struggle and injustice and work left to do.
Okay.
And
I have to tell you, what? What? See, this is the problem. They say things they don't mean. Because if you meant that, we wouldn't have a problem. Yes, there's a lot of pain, and let's work through that pain. But that's not what's being said. What's being said, there is no beauty in the people that struggled in their own time, as she said. In their own time to make life better for their children. They did, in their own time. Their times were different. So they didn't meet today's standards, but they moved the flag forward. And now it's our job to move the flag forward even more. But that's not what the left is saying. That's not what the Democratic Party stands for anymore. They call for the destruction of America, a rewriting of our history, a washing us of everyone in their time that was trying to do the right thing for their children. That's a real problem. Now, let's go to SOT 2. Listen to this. Tell me who she's describing.
I am one of a handful of people living today who have seen firsthand the immense weight and awesome power of the presidency. And let me once again tell you this. The job is hard. It requires clear-headed judgment, a mastery of complex and competing issues, a devotion to facts and history, a moral compass, and an ability to listen, and an abiding belief that each of the 330 million lives in this country has meaning and worth.
Okay. All right. Okay. Stop. Stop. Now, remember, she's giving the speech for Joe Biden. So let me just go through this. She's seen it firsthand, immense weight and awesome power of the presidency. She's seen it.
Can we say real quick, this country's not supposed to have an awesomely powerful president. That's not how it's supposed to work.
Yes. So, but she's seen that.
Yeah, she has.
She has seen that. Let me once again tell you this. The job is hard. Agree?
Sure.
Yes. It requires clear-headed judgment. Does Joe Biden have clear-headed judgment?
How could anyone say that with a straight face?
Can't.
How?
Can't. A mastery of complex and competing issues.
He can't even get to multiple syllable words at this point.
He might have 5 years ago, 10 years ago, certainly did when he was with Barack Obama at the beginning, certainly did. Now, no. A devotion of facts and history, no one on the left has that.
Biden didn't even have that back in when he was going with Obama. Remember the, what was it, FDR and the television?
Yeah, right. I mean, he just didn't have it. And if I may, a devotion of facts and history, let me go back to Michelle Obama in 2008.
And Barack knows that we are going to have to make sacrifices. We are going to have to change our conversation. We're going to have to change our traditions, our history. We're going to have to move into a different place.
So we're going to have to change our history. So a devotion of facts and history. Does she really mean that? And does Joe Biden have that? A moral compass. A guy whose son has built with his dad millions of dollars through gun running, drug lord, mafioso style people in Ukraine, and gotten deeply in bed with the communist Chinese party and made millions of dollars. Is that a moral compass that you think he has? I'm not saying, we don't have to compare. We could say Donald Trump, just assume. Haven't seen it, but just assume, his kids are dirty as hell too. Well, A, haven't seen that evidence. But B, we're talking about Michelle Obama saying we need a moral compass. Does Joe Biden have that moral compass? Oh, and an ability to listen. The only reason why he's listening is because he can't speak anymore. I mean, who is she describing here?
I mean, this almost as if she's making the case that they should not nominate Joe Biden.
Right.
It's almost like she's saying, like, you know what, they should give the job to me or Kamala or somebody else.
It's almost like she says, look, you know me, and I've seen it. Job's hard. Clear-headed judgment, mastery of complex and competing issues, devotion of facts and history, a moral compass, and an ability to listen. That's why we picked Kamala to be on the ticket, because she's got that. Joe has lost it a long time ago, but he's not really going to be president. You can, with a straight face, make that statement about Joe Biden. SOT 4, please. Here is Michelle Obama from last night.
And here at home, as George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and a never-ending list of innocent people of color continue to be murdered, stating the simple fact that a Black Life Matters is still met with derision from the nation's highest office.
No, it's not, Michelle. It's really not. First of all, you named 2 people and then said, and a never-ending list of innocent people of color that continue to be murdered. I don't know if you've seen the murder list of black people. They do, but they seem to be murdered by other black people, not the police. Have you noticed that?
It's very much of an end to the list.
There is.
There is. 9 in 1 year is what the end of that list was.
For the police.
For the police. It's this idea that you can just string together, in this case, she didn't even go as far as they normally do with 5 or 6 names.
Yeah.
2. Listing a few names is not an argument.
No.
Especially when they usually go to 5 or 6 names and they start naming people who were like attacking the police at the time of the shooting.
Right. And then stating the simple fact that Black Lives Matter is still met with derision from the nation's highest office. Black Lives Matter. Registered trademark. Black Lives Matter, Inc. It is a company. It's not a movement. It's a literal company. We can say that Black Lives Matter. Absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. But when you say Black Lives Matter, that's a registered trademark for a company. It's like saying, just do it. Just do it. Oh, my gosh. When it's met by with derision from Adidas. Of course, it's a slogan for another company. I disagree with the company, Black Lives Matter, not the idea. Then she goes on and she says that, we're seeing people shouting in grocery stores, unwilling to wear a mask to keep us all safe. They see people calling the police on folks minding their own business just because of the color of their skin. Excuse me? We are seeing people beat other people because they're not wearing a mask. We saw a black neighbor go out and shoot a kid point blank. Why? Because he was white. What are you talking about? Then SOT 5.
They see people shouting in grocery stores, unwilling to wear a mask to keep us all safe. They see people calling the police on folks minding their own business just because of the color of their skin. They see an entitlement that says only certain people belong here.
Yeah, I do see that.
That greed is good and winning is everything, because as long as you come out on top, it doesn't matter what happens to everyone else.
Do you know anybody who says that, who believes that?
And they see what happens when that lack of empathy is ginned up into outright disdain.
Unbelievable.
They see our leaders labeling fellow citizens enemies of the state while emboldening torch-bearing white supremacists.
Oh, my gosh.
They watch in horror as children are torn from their families and thrown into cages and pepper spray and rubber bullets.
Stop.
Oh, come on.
Stop. Your husband built those cages. Your husband built those cages. For them to claim at this time, I didn't know that. I just saw the pictures. Is ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous.
Shows an immense amount of confidence that no one will look into what they've done. An incredible amount of confidence.
Because no one will. Because no one will. There isn't anyone sitting in the seat in the national press that is going to say, wait a minute, guys. Seeing people in cages, wait a minute. People are unwilling to wear a mask to keep us all safe. Yeah, we are seeing that. But we're also seeing people beaten. We're for that. We're seeing white people shot and frightened off the streets because black people, and not all black people, just this small minority of socialists and Marxists that want a revolution are saying to white people, you have no place here. They're literally saying that in the streets. So isn't there some sort of balance maybe that